pick up, and then we'll go.
We'll never surrender.
Skin boots on a Saturday night.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and yes, that's right, once again you read the title correctly. Today we're actually going to be going over some DLC 3 leaked information for Infinite Warfare Zombies. Now, within the last video, I asked if we could smash 1,000 likes on that video in under 48 hours, then I would indeed post this video, and thankfully you managed to absolutely kill it with the likes, so I'm very, very grateful of that. Now, obviously within the last video, I went over some Infinite Warfare Zombies DLC 2 leaked information, which is absolutely crazy considering we have DLC 2 and DLC 3 leaked information, but we don't even have DLC 1 Raven the Redwoods yet. And obviously due to this, we have very, very little leaked information regarding DLC 2 and DLC 3. The leaked information that's out there is very, very minute, and we can't really speculate much about this leaked information because of how simple and, you know, how little information there actually is. But obviously once we have DLC 1 Raven the Redwoods, we'll be able to make much better assumptions about where the storyline will be heading within DLC 2 and DLC 3. Obviously we'll get a lot of information from the Easter egg, and I hope there's an ending cutscene with Raven the Redwoods because Zombies in Space and in have one, so hopefully we can get an ending cutscene. If we do get an ending cutscene, that would be awesome. And, you know, we'll get ciphers and stuff like that, which will, you know, lead up the storyline for DLC 2 and DLC 3, so we'll be able to take a lot more out of this leaked information. But basically within the DLC 2 leaked informational video, I went over a leak by BBAT's anonymous source, and if you haven't seen the DLC 2 leaked informational video, I will leave a link to it down in this video's description. I would definitely recommend going ahead and watching it before you watch this video, but I will be making a follow-up video to the DLC 2 and the DLC 3 leaked informational videos once we get DLC 1 released, because obviously I'll be able to make much better assumptions then, and by that time we may even have even more leaked information that actually gives us more information, because at the moment we don't really have much information because obviously it's way too early. But basically how this leaked information came about, if you didn't watch the last video, is that a guy called BBAT over on Twitter, and I will leave a link to his Twitter and YouTube in this video's description, he provided this information to another YouTuber called COD Zombies HQ, which I will also link down in this video's description. This video won't be possible if it wasn't for the both of them, but basically BBAT has some sort of anonymous source that gave this information from the code. But prior to Raven the Redwoods getting announced, BBAT DM'd COD Zombies HQ saying to him, I'm pretty confident that the new map name will be called Zombies in Rave underscore, and the reason why he thought it was going to be called Zombies in Rave underscore was the fact that, you know, Lee Ross was giving teasers over on his Twitter page where he was, you know, giving teasers about some of the letters for DLC 1, so he told COD Zombies HQ that he thought that, you know, the DLC 1 would indeed have Rave within its name, and indeed he was correct. So after COD Zombies HQ realised he was correct, he then asked BBAT, how on earth did you know that DLC 1 would indeed feature Rave within its name, because none of the marketing at that point for Raven the Redwoods suggested it would have anything to do with Rave, because at that point we only had an image release, we didn't have the name, we didn't have really any description of the map, so we didn't really know what it was going to be about. But he replied and said two reasons. Number one is that before the beta even came out, there was a data leak, and in the code there was a zombies map with the codename CP_range, Spaceland is CP_Spaceland. So essentially the codename for Raven the Redwoods is CP_range, the codename for Zombies in Spaceland is CP_Spaceland, and as you can see, both of them have been included within the actual names of the map. So he said that within the code there's codenames for two more DLCs, that being CP_Titan and CP_range. So CP_Titan and CP_range are going to be the codenames for both DLC 2 and DLC 3, and he said that there's also CP_test, but that's just a test map where, you know, the developers can test, you know, developer tools and certain things that they're going to add into the maps without, you know, introducing them within the actual maps. It's, you know, just a playground area basically. So within that last video I said that I thought DLC 2 was indeed going to be CP_Titan just by the order of this, and it just seems more logical in my own personal opinion. So if that were to be the case, then I think CP_range is going to be DLC 3, but likewise to the last video I said that possibly CP_range could be DLC 2 and CP_Titan could indeed be DLC 3. Now if that is indeed the case, I will rename this video to DLC 2 leaked information, and I will rename the last video to DLC 3 leaked information if I've got the two the wrong way around, but I'm pretty confident that I don't. I'm pretty confident that CP_range is DLC 3 and CP_Titan is DLC 2, but I could be wrong, they could be the other way around, but nevertheless this information is still correct regardless, but it just depends on the ordering of them. But obviously these are just code names, so we can't really take much out of this. We don't really have much description of the maps, but you know, within the last video I went over what I thought Titan would be, what the map CP_Titan will be. I talked about how it could have something to do with a mech, it could have something to do with, you know, a boat, because it could have something to do with Greek mythology, it could have something to do with, you know, some sort of important figure, because the word Titan is quite broad. So now we're going to be talking about CP_Titan. So this could indeed be the location of where DLC 3 is. If it's not DLC 3, it'll be DLC 2. Now this is a little harder to speculate about, because obviously we don't have DLC 1 or DLC 2 yet, and the only piece of leaked information we have for DLC 3 is CP_range. Now there was indeed another leak that we got a while back, which I'll put on screen now, that suggests that all of the DLC maps are going to revolve around aliens, just like Zombies in Space Sand, but they could just be placeholders, we're not really sure. Now if all the maps are related to aliens, then I think that would be pretty cool, to be honest, and that would suggest that maybe the Titan map could be set on a spaceship or something like that, just like, you know, the Titanic was a ship, but this could be set on a spaceship. But in terms of what I think range could be, well, it could be set on some sort of outback area. That would be definitely cool. You know, it could be a large area with open land for grazing and hunting, because that's known as, you know, a range. It could be an area of land or sea used as a testing ground for military equipment, or it could be an open or enclosed area with targets for shooting practice, the area over which a plant or animal is distributed. So, you know, the word range could, you know, mean a lot of things, but it could be either of those options. If so, in terms of the time setting, I'm not really sure, because obviously, you know, Zombies in Space Sand was in the 80s, or Raven the Redwoods was in the 90s. We're not sure where this Titan map is going to be set, but in terms of the range map, again, we're not sure where this is going to be set. But if it is indeed set on this grassland area, or just some sort of open land, or even a military area, that would be pretty cool. And maybe that could link in with this whole alien theme. It could be set, you know, within this secret alien military base, sort of like Area 51, but maybe not exactly Area 51, but, you know, their own interpretation of it. But since we've already seen Area 51, you know, within Black Ops 1's Resurrection, where we had Moon, so I don't think they would sort of want to copy Treyarch. But again, I'm just speculating about what range is. It could be a range of different things, no pun intended. But, you know, range could simply be an area of variation between upper and lower limits on a particular scale. That's what range means. But, you know, that doesn't really tell us anything about the map, to be honest. But what it could be referring to is the scope of a person's knowledge or abilities, because obviously I think in each map we're going to have a different character that's going to, you know, help us and assist us. Obviously we had the DJ, which was David Hasselhoff within Zombies in Space Sand. We've then got the Slasher on Raven the Redwoods, and maybe this character may have some sort of special abilities on this range map. There may be a character on the map that has some sort of special abilities, or maybe our own characters will have special abilities, because obviously each map is going to be set in a different Willard Wyler films, and obviously if each map is set within different Willard Wyler films, then the characters take their personas of each different film. So for example, in Zombies in Space Sand, the characters took the theme of the 80s, and in Raven the Redwoods they're probably going to take the theme of the 90s within this horror setting, so they'll be based around horror characters. And if range is referencing to, you know, special abilities, then maybe the characters could have special abilities like superpowers, if they're taking the persona of where this range map is set. I'm not really sure where the time era could be, because, you know, range could mean a wide range of things. For example, range could simply mean place oneself or to be placed in an opposition to. It doesn't really give us much description. Now I just wanted to go over another little leak. Basically, Glitching Queen's anonymous source told her that DLC 2 is indeed going to be set within this Disco Devil theme, because obviously we got this image released by Infinity Ward prior to Infinite Warfare coming out, which showed some other Willard Wyler films, and obviously we're going to be going within different Willard Wyler films within each map, and she said that Disco Devil is going to tie within DLC 2. If that's the case, then maybe this Nightmare Summer Camp map could indeed be where DLC 3 is set, but again, that's not for definite because Glitching Queen never said that, but that's just the assumption that I get. If so, then maybe I could indeed be correct. It could indeed be set, you know, within this open land, but as you can see from the image, there's the sea within the background. It's got the nice summer set, and then it's set on a beach. I think a beach map would be very cool. We've never really seen a beach map, although we saw beaches within Dead Ops Arcade. I guess you could count that. And on Call of the Dead, technically we saw a beach, but that was sort of frozen, so it wasn't really a beach because there was no sand. But yeah, DLC 3 could be, you know, linked in with this Nightmare Summer thing. But I'm sorry that this video has been so vague. We don't really have much DLC 3 or DLC 2 leaked information, you know, so I'm just scratching the surfaces here. You know, I'm just trying to make as much out of this from as little information as we have. But hopefully you have indeed taken at least something from this video. As I said, we'll get more information once DLC 1 and once DLC 2 are released, and I'll be making follow-up videos to this video once we get more information. But at this moment in time, it's just way early to speculate that much. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for the latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies news information series. Thank you for watching, and bye.